So the people who have raised hands are basically the participants, right?
Right. So they are going to be speaking today.
All right. So, okay, Aditya.
Okay. So great, yaar. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So today's session is more about a group discussion. We are going to be doing a live group discussion. And today we have one of our mentor who has connected with us. So जोरदार तालियों से राशि मैम का स्वागत करते हैं यार. उनके घर तक आवाज पहुंचा दो. Right.
Thank you.
So ma'am has been connected with us for I think very long time. I think she was one who was a part of GR1 also. That is what I feel. So that is there. And she is one of the blue tick mentor जो रहता है ना Instagram में और Twitter में. तो वो हमारे blue tick वाले mentor हैं. So thanks ma'am for joining in on Saturday evening or night which I'll call. तो अभी हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, जो ज्वाइन हुए हैं, मैं सबसे पहले थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ बता देता हूँ सो दैट जो भी नए हैं या जो अभी फर्स्ट टाइम देख रहे हैं ग्रुप डिस्कशन को. सो हमने क्या किया है, हमारा एक जीपीएल करके इवेंट चल रहा था. इट्स जीआईआर प्रीमियर लीग. तो जो भी हमने जीआईआर के स्टूडेंट्स को ट्रेन किया है फ्रॉम बैच नंबर 16 and 17 वी हैव डिवाइडेड इनटू टीम्स एंड देयर आर 4 टीम्स व्हिच आर गोना बी परफॉर्मिंग. सो हर एक टीम से उनके बेस्ट प्लेयर्स को उनकी टीम्स ने आगे भेजा है. अब वो प्लेयर्स अपने टीम के बिहाफ पे ग्रुप डिस्कशन करने वाले हैं. राशि मैम इज गोना बी गिविंग अ ग्रुप डिस्कशन टॉपिक टू देम एंड दे आर गोना बी डूइंग अ ग्रुप डिस्कशन. The best team is going to be getting a 500 points and the second best team is going to be getting a 250 points. Right now यहाँ पे ग्रुप डिस्कशन में थोड़ा सा हमने ट्विस्ट डाला है. ट्विस्ट ये है कि आपको टीम में परफॉर्म करना है. से फॉर एग्जांपल देयर आर 2 प्लेयर्स, तो एक जन ने कोई पॉइंट बोल दिया तो आपको उसके पॉइंट को कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट नहीं करना है. अगेन यू नीड टू परफॉर्म एंड स्पीक इनटू द टीम्स. राइट, तो बेटर यू डू इट द बेटर इट इज फॉर यू गाइस. सो ग्रेट. जो ग्रुप डिस्कशन में अभी बोलने वाले हैं, आई विल जस्ट अ स्मॉल रिक्वेस्ट, आप अपने वीडियोस ऑन कर लो एंड प्लीज अपनी टीम का नाम आगे लिख दो सो दैट इट्स इजियर फॉर अस टू आइडेंटिफाई एंड इट्स आल्सो इजियर फॉर अस टू नोट इट डाउन कि कौन कौन बोलने वाला है. ठीक है, तो ये वर्चुअल ग्रुप डिस्कशन है. जो पहली बार देख रहे हैं, काफी लोगों को लगता है कि वर्चुअल जीडी होता है कि नहीं होता है. यस, वर्चुअल जीडीज होते हैं. काफी सारे कंपनीज लाइक वेदांता कंडक्ट अ वर्चुअल ग्रुप डिस्कशन आउट. ठीक है, तो जस्ट एक सेकंड में चेक कर लेता हूँ टीम 1 से कौन कौन पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा है. प्लीज आप
let me also just cross check with my list. I have just prepared a list.
Right.
So I think team 1 में Kinjal and Vishnu, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
And team 2 is Rupal and Bhaskar.
You can
unmute yourself, please.
Yes, please unmute.
Rupal and Bhavesh.
Bhavesh. Then why is Bhaskar? Acha, Bhaskar has not raised his hand. Okay, Bhavesh.
Bhavesh, are you there?
Yes, I am there. Yeah.
Okay, so God. Team 3 is Naman and Aditya. Right? And team
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And team 4 is team 4 is Niharika and Laksh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So
great. Just a small request, जो GD में participate कर रहे हैं, आप ही बस अपना videos on रखो. बाकी लोग I'll request you to turn off your videos. So
yeah, because I think I also got confused.
Right. So मैं उसको है ना सिर्फ non video participants को hide कर देता हूँ so that it's easier for us also.
Yeah.
So जो participate कर रहे हैं, please अपने videos on कर लो, और जो participate नहीं कर रहा है वो videos off रख लो. Okay, भावेश आप rename नहीं किए, please rename कर लो. बस आदित्य स्मार्ट दिख रहे हो, टेंशन मत लो.
Okay, so I think most of these people have taken GD with me. I think Aditya was there. I remember Vishnu also. I remember Niharika also. Okay, so I would like to, since you are into this Shark Tank Sea Monk Tank, mode. So I would also like to give you some topic. I think that topic I already had given in one of the GDs, but I was not very happy with the result. So let me see if you can justify this topic in this GD. So the topic is, what is your take on startup valuations, justified or not justified? So I'll just write the topic in the chat box as well. So I think 5 minutes I'm going to give you. So we'll start at around 9:20 or before that, okay?
जो भी पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर रही है, जस्ट अ स्मॉल रिक्वेस्ट, आई वांट यू टू प्लीज बी ऑन म्यूट. और जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, आई थिंक यू कैन स्टार्ट अ प्रिपरेशन. जब तक कि आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं, मैं राशि मैम से 2-3 सवाल पूछते हैं मतलब व्हाट टाइम विल स्टार्ट? आई विल स्टार्ट अ ग्रुप डिस्कशन 9:20 मैम.
Yeah, 9:20. Yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, just 2-3, since I think a lot of people are watching and I think a lot of people are connected on YouTube. So this is first time we are doing
Yeah.
live also.
Okay.
So,
So this was, you should have told me all this beforehand, before actually putting me into this position.
right.
That I'll be going live and all over the nation is like watching me.
नहीं, इतनी फैन फॉलोइंग अभी हमारी नहीं बढ़ी है, बट
नहीं, definitely यार, you are a startup and so मतलब edtech में हो you में, and my husband is also in a edtech startup, so I can very well feel the pulse.
नहीं, so ma'am, I wanted genuine feedback from you regarding that. What are the common mistakes you find out from the students during the group discussion, and how to improvise that? That side I just wanted to
So
talk.
basically, the common mistake I found that number one, that people don't participate even if it is a mock GD. So that makes me very I mean that I get offended by that people are not participating. You have joined this platform that you want to improve yourself, and still you are not participating in the GD, and you're not basically testing yourself. Okay, that you're not testing yourself, that how open are you to communication, how open are you to discuss, and how much is your knowledge. So all these things which matter in the GD, people don't they just join the platform and they just don't participate in the GD. So that is something which I feel that each and every person should speak out, and that is the testing basically, to see that where you stand today and what all improvements you are going to do, and what all improvements you need. So that is one thing. And second thing is that people just start to repeat each other's lines
Points,
and
yeah.
each other's points. So I think you should add value to the discussion basically when you are discussing something, and something of what your viewpoint. That is also one thing which I want to really highlight, that people just start with the definition, like this is this. So definition, because I don't want to know about the definition, right? I want to know your viewpoint, like what is exactly are your views on the topic, how you feel about it, or how you want to, what are your basically, how much knowledge you have about the topic, and are you able to form an opinion, what is your opinion. So that is one thing in GDs which we look for. So I am not, I don't test people that what definitions you are giving, or how much like theoretical knowledge you have. I want that you should form an opinion about everything, you should have your viewpoint. And that is all DT, IDT, taxation, everything is about, right? When you need to give an opinion about everything, whatever our chartered accountants are, we chartered accountants are literally, blend this way, that we need to really form a viewpoint and give our opinion about everything, right? So I think it is very important for these students to form a viewpoint. And one thing I want to say that देखो एक दो जीडी करने से you're not going to crack it. So आप Google, don't try to Google at that point when the topic is given. Try to Google it before, that what all topics are there in the group discussions, and how you are going to form your opinion. Just try to enhance your knowledge. In all my GD sessions, I tell everyone that you need to enhance your knowledge to crack the GD. You should have the knowledge of current affairs, you should have the knowledge of what is happening around the country, you should have the knowledge what is happening in your profession. All these things you should be aware about, and also have an opinion, that how much what is your opinion and your viewpoint, and you should discuss this with other people, so that you are able to find like flaws in your views, and something contradictory to something your views, there can be some contradiction also. So then it will be like beneficial for you in all these GDs. I think that is what all these students need to do to prepare themselves for GD.
Right. So, ma'am, you have taken, I think, almost more than, I think, 50-60 odd GDs till date. So,
Yeah.
or might be more.
So no, I say in this, I think in past 2-3 weeks, so 2 weeks only, I think I've taken 10 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So just wanted to know that what are the things which you look into? Matlab, in terms of, is it a communication? Is it a starting point? Is it a conclusion? Or what things?
Yeah, so basically I looked at how much you have, how much knowledge you have, your leadership skills, your communication skills, and also your listening skills. That either that are you even listening to what other person is trying to say, or you are just, in your own zone, and you're like zoned up so much that you are actually not listening to the other person. So, all these things matter a lot to me. See, I don't judge कि आपने जीडी के अंदर क्या बोला क्या नहीं बोला. I don't tell people कि आपको ये add on करना चाहिए था, ये add on नहीं करना चाहिए था, because I'm not judging that. वो मैं judge कर चुकी हूँ. अगर आप बोल रहे हो, if you are forming an opinion, that is already being judged. If you're not able to speak up, that means you're not aware. That means you don't have the knowledge, right? So knowledge, communication skills, leadership skills, listening skills, these are all the skills which I actually judge during the GD round. And that is what is, I think, important also, to see where these people are going to go, because I always tell them, listen, apne hard work to everybody has done, and you're going to join at equal level. Everybody is going to join at equal level. From that point, how you raise yourself and how you basically climb that corporate ladder, that is more important. That at that time, smart work is going to work, right? So that smartness is going to come when you're going to enhance your knowledge. And when you're going to enhance your communication skills, leadership skills, all these skills are required, basically to work in that organization. Right. So I think that is the thing which I feel is important.
Right.
So I think we can start with the GD.
Yes, just a second. I'll ask someone to count a filler word also, if you want. It will be great. So Meghna, aap ho to, if it would be great if you can count the filler words. Meghna, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
So you know how to count a filler word, right? Just write a filler word which a person is saying and count it like a tally mark, 1, 2, 3, 4, and cross as a 5. Right, so that we can also let them know that what is the filler words. So जिन्हें नहीं पता filler words क्या होते हैं, it's like okay, right? So काफी बार हम वो words repeat करते हैं ना, तो counting करने से बहुत ज़्यादा पता चलता है कि कौन कहाँ पे गलत हो रहा है. ठीक है?
Sir, before starting, I just had a question. Are we going to like get time to speak, or do we have to go about it like a normal GD?
Normal GD.
Normal GD?
Yeah, it's a normal GD. Aditya, why are you asking this question?
No, sometimes it gets very confusing.
Ma'am, just a one doubt, because we had a confusion earlier due to GD sessions, like the start and the end will be said by you, or we have to just like go on and on and on.
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Niharika.
She's asking whether when do we know when to
start
conclude?
the GD and to end the GD will be said by you.
Whether you will prompt us to conclude.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Shivam, how is it? How have we planned this today? That
whatever way is convenient to you.
So let me just I'm going to say start, then you can start, and I'm going to only ask you to conclude, and then we can end. Okay, I'll ask for the conclusion, and then that is how we're going to end it. Okay. So I think let's start, and we'll have a discussion till 9:40.
Okay, so I'll just take the stage, and the topic today is startup valuations, right? Startup valuations, whether they are justified or not justified, it comes at a time when we are seeing Shark Tank. Every person who's talking about it, every person wants to know about angel pool preferences. They're raising funds like 1 crore for 1% of the equity. Everyone's talking about this, right? So how do we exactly value it, right? So startups are much distinct and much different valuation is done as compared to normal companies. Normal companies, we use the free cash flows model, we use the dividend discount model. But when we come to startups, we usually cannot use these because these companies don't have a positive bottom line, right? We use something like an EBITDA valuation or a revenue multiple, right? So there are many factors which are considered in a startup valuation, and we cannot just say that a blanket statement cannot be put forward that startups are valued, are justified or not justified. It depends upon various factors. Like there are several non-financial factors which I would like to take into consideration, like the entrepreneurs which are involved. So the quality of the entrepreneur is very important. Like I'll just give you a very important example. Like we know WeWork is a unicorn which has come out of the United States, right? It was valued upwards of $1 billion, which crashed down because of its founder Adam Neumann, which due to several factors, the company failed to value. Most of these big banks thought that the valuation of
exactly like Aditya told that the startup valuation depends on many other factors. I would like to speak on the favor of this topic, because raising funds is an unavoidable process for any of the startup to grow into the business. That's the one point which I want to like to mention. And the other point which I want to like to mention is where the startup valuation is high or low will decide whether the investors want to invest or not not. For an example, in Shark Tank only, there was one of the startup in relation to Flavorist, where they valued 300 crores as their valuation company, and just because of that, no sharks were invested in that startup. So this was there, that high valuation.
Niharika, I would also like to
point
out that it also depends on what the investors are telling. So if the person selling the business can make it the people investing confident about their product, and then they can justify that 300 crore valuation, then the investors would be interested. It's the way the person who's selling the product determines the worth of a startup. If we have someone like
It's not just
I would like to disagree with what you just said. It's not
it's
only about what the investor is saying.
It's a thing which is mandatory to get loan.
I guess everyone should
So
just
we are
go.
actually what we are making is in a startup there are many intangible points. There are many tangibles and intangible points, and there is no fixed rules that we are talking about while we are valuing the startup. As it is rightly mentioned that it is very different from the rules or the EBITDA and all these discounted models that we are already using. We are using much more depending upon the other opportunities. Like in the Shark Tank also we have seen that what is the potential of growing it in the field in the future, like what are the different opportunities which are available with this, how we can link this with different aspects. Like for example, like if there is a particular startup in a particular field, then they look up for for example a pharmaceutical. So how the networking
You guys are only focusing on Shark Tank. I would like to drive your attention towards the stock market.
It's like to circle back to what Kinjal said right now regarding what stories that the investor is
we are just overlapping, guys.
You are overlapping.
Each other's voices.
Shark Tank.
I guess we should just go one by one, right?
Concept,
Naman,
not just the valuation
Lakshay, you are just overlapping each other's voices.
Go one by one. That will be much
Naman,
better.
Lakshay, your points are not audible. You all are just
Okay, now I would like
overlapping your
to.
voices.
Okay.
So
So I
Lakshay,
would
you
like to
can go and
continue.
then Naman can follow after you.
That would be much better.
I would like to go first. So I would like to
Lakshay,
drive
you
your
go, Naman
attention.
can just follow. Because
I
we
would like
can't
to
hear
drive
your
your.
voices.
Okay, thanks.
Please let me
Kinjal. I would like
continue.
to. I would like to draw your attention towards the Indian stock markets. You all are just focusing on the Shark Tank. I would like to say that Shark Tank is a not platform to value your company. If you see the Indian stock markets, Paytm, Nykaa, Zomato, all the startups have been listed, and you can see that the Paytm is now down 50% from the listing price. Nykaa is down 30%. And
Because
Zomato
they
is
have
down
reduced the
40%.
industrial holding.
Lakshya,
That's
you are
why
just
that's
deviating from the
different
point.
for
We are
investors,
talking
venture
about the
capitalists,
valuation
and
valuation of startups, right?
Not
We are not talking
not
about the
not IPO
stock
listing.
market being
We are
listed
not
and not
talking about
listed.
IPO
What
listing. We are
depends
talking
on
the
about
market
demand
moves
and
on.
supply.
whether the
There are
valuation
different
is
factors,
justified
right?
or not is the topic of the
Blanket
discussion. I think
statement.
you are kind
Paytm,
of
India's
deviating
biggest
from
tiger,
that.
has eroded
Please
35,000 crores of shareholders' wealth. While on the other hand, Zomato's IPO band was 76 rupees, current price is 94 rupees. Nykaa IPO price 1,125, current price around 1,800. While on the other hand, Paytm, India's biggest IPO, has eroded 35,000 crores. So it cannot be a blanket statement, just like Aditya said. We as retail investors don't have access to the confidential documents the investment bankers have.
So startups
Additionally,
one thing that I would like to
just
say-
adding to Naman's point, additionally, markets are moved by several factors. Right, markets are moved by several factors. We call them the mood market. If you see Ashwath Damodaran's video on YouTube regarding valuation, he is called as the dean of valuation from New York University. He said that valuing is not a blanket exercise. It cannot be said that all startups, you cannot just quote random startups like Zomato, Nykaa. There are other companies, there are startups which have been unlisted, right? The startup market, more over the stock market, the majority of the startups are unlisted.
I agree with
You can
that.
see, I
There
would
are
cross
4,200
some
startups
cross
which are
Aditya
currently
Kamal, and I would like to highlight the point
It
that
is about listed and non-listed
factors.
Startup is not a
not
thing
value the
This is what
startups on the
Paytm.
basis
very
of
beginning
listed
started
and
on a
unlisted.
listing.
We
Like,
should
they
value
are
the
not
startup
directly
based upon their
listed.
idea, based
First, they
upon
get
what
their fund
industry
from
they
the
are working
market, from
on.
the bank.
That's the
How
take. Whether
bank
the
want the
startup
valuation
valuation
thing?
is
How valuation
sufficient
is
or
needed by
not
bank?
sufficient,
Please,
we have to
Niharika,
The
see.
most
listen to me.
important aspect that I
Please,
feel that people are missing right
valuation
here
is a
is
thing
that
which is needed
the
by
relevance of
bank.
the topic. We have
Firstly,
a
the
lot
main
of
source
people
of
here
finance
who
for the
don't know what
startup
the
is
startup
bank.
valuation
So
is.
how,
So
what
we
bank?
need to
So
know
what bank
why
wants?
this topic is
Bank
important.
wants
So that I have
valuation,
2
and
points.
valuation
Please
is
let
a
me
thing
2
which
seconds
is
to
designed.
speak.
Please, you are to listen to me, guys.
Bhavesh,
Please.
you are
आप
just
बहुत बाउंड
overlapping
हो रहे हो.
everyone's voice.
Absolutely,
Bhavesh, you are
not
just
listening.
overlapping everyone's
Kinjal, I would
voice.
like to add, like Bhavesh was speaking before Vishnu was, maybe his voice is less, but I think we should let him speak because he was speaking before
So
Vishnu.
the first thing
And
I'm
so,
saying is
Yeah,
that
but I was not getting a
startup
chance
is
to
like
speak.
a thing. No, it's not directly listed. First, There is a valuation project. I'm saying in favor of valuation. So in a bank, what happened is that they want a valuation that what will be the future earning of the startup. So in that basis, they will get assured that yes, this is a worth spending project. So for the valuation part, a CA is also there who just make the projections and allow them to give the loan. In that way, they value the thing. And the startup thing, you cannot measure it with the IPO. It is like a projection thing. This is the
That's
point.
why I agree with Bhavesh. There has to be a creative methodology to value the value of the startup, like quality of the management, then the value of comparable companies, the industry.
If you look at another company's example, Boat, India's first D2C brand going for listing. Now, how do you justify a earphone making, smartwatch making company a valuation of 2,000 crores when there are players like Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, etc. in the market?
It is being valued according to its earnings. Like what question are you asking? Like, I'm not understanding your question. You're questioning the how to value Boat. So see, the earnings are the only main thing which drive the value. If there is no earning, you can't justify.
Actually, Lakshya,
you
cannot just say that the earnings are the only thing.
We work on a pre-revenue model, so it does not have any
just focus on whether the startup valuation shall be done or not done, and whether it is important or not.
You cannot merely focus on the earnings, because the future holds much for the startups rather than what its current position or what its past earnings told.
I agree with Rupal, because if you can't base earnings, because mostly startups are pre-revenue, they are mostly burning their cash, so you can't predict what the cash or historical data they have.
I totally agree with your point.
And there are multiple factors like the growth rate, the market dynamics, the story which the investors see in the startup, right? No one would have seen Steve Jobs' story if you see the movie Jobs, right? When they were in a garage, not many people saw their story. So it also depends upon how well the investors connect with the startup idea. It's not just about I'm making X amount of money, so I should deserve X amount of valuation. It's my story, my growth rate, my market, the future trends, earnings. So there are multiple factors which are going into it. And
so
I don't think stock markets is a right example.
Among all these factors, I would consider earnings is the most important.
If earnings are the most important, then why do so many startups which are negative earnings still make money?
It always depends on kind of analytics and data. How? Because everything works in a pattern.
It was getting listed. If you look at LIC's examples, also not exactly a startup.
Like you mentioned that leadership wanted to say that yes,
but you are not
one of the important factors. It is not the only factor. It is an important factor which focuses on the valuation. There are others too.
Cutting him in between. Vishnu, go ahead.
Let's coordinate with each other, please.
Vishnu, go ahead.
Valuation. What I say is the valuation is a thing which goes in a pattern. Like there is always a past trend, then a future trend. So there is a industry is growing at 20%, it will grow by 20%. And then we need to take our share. What is our share in the market? And through this, accordingly, we project our financials. So this is the main topic. Is it valid or not? So I think it's properly valid, because we know that everything works in a pattern. If expenses increase by 10%, it increase by that only with a little margin if we go with the quantity. And with the sale, this always happens. So this is the thing. And on this basis, banks also verified, they also give loan. So the first thing which bank asks for loan for their valuation is the projections only. So it is a very suitable thing to give them loan and to value the firm. And it is not the kind of imaginary.
I think that you're just missing the point,
valuation and low valuation.
Yeah, Vishnu, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. You are the only person who gave me time. So I hope you get 1 point for that. I don't mind, because you
Vishnu, you can start talking.
Yeah. No, it's the entire emotions. It's been a hell lot of time. I have
Vishnu, your chance.
Yeah. So basically, why is this topic important? Like, what happens if there is a low valuation? What happens if there is a high valuation? If it's a low valuation, the investors get a big chunk of your stake. That's one point. Second point, if they get it for cheap, they don't value. That's basic Indian mentality I'm talking about. If you get it for cheap, you don't value it. That's one point. Second point about high valuation. What happens if you are valuing the firm in a higher cost? That is, you get the wrong type of investors. That's the first point. And I have 2 more follow-up points. That is, one, your entire long-term strategy gets completely screwed up because of the high valuation. And the third and the last point that I would like to make is that you kind of be more distance with your investors because of the higher valuation. That's all.
Okay. So I'll just like to circle back to Bhavesh's point.
I would
Bhavesh
like to
was
counter your first point that
Rupal, just let me complete, right? Rupal, just let me complete.
Talking, right? Let him complete.
Rupal, just
please give other
which
persons to
is
chance.
less expensive, then that is something that we are valuing less. But here we are talking about the startup entrepreneurs. So they are valuing something. If they are getting it less particular point, so they would be much more interested in that. I'm not countering on that.
Hear me out. This is entirely basic. So
that is not something
my entire conversation was not in that man. I was saying what is a low valuation and what is a high valuation. I was not justifying either thing. I was just putting the word out. So I think you are
so just let me just circle back to Bhavesh's point, right? So he was talking about valuations and the models, right? Yeah. So he was talking about valuations, and he said that valuation models are completely right. Yeah, I agree with you. Valuation models are completely right, but that's not the question. We are talking about justification, and justification comes in assumptions, right? Is the assumed growth rate correct?
It's valid,
is the assumed market correct?
There's no difference between that. I'm saying it's justified because it is.
You cannot say that everything justifies, right? I can say that the Indian food delivery market is at 50 billion and might grow at a 19% CAGR. But is that 19% correct, right? I may differ. I may say that it's 17%. You may say that it's 24%. That's the justification, the part which comes into startups or any sort of valuation, right? Valuation is not a one-step, one-shot exercise. It's rather a hit and remeasure.
McKinsey's, then they all are justified. They work on a pattern. When you come with a say that I sold my 1% at 1 crore and now you are saying that my firm value is 100 crores, it is not justified. I'm saying about the proper procedure. You use your accounting standards, follow that, and then the conclusion you will get when certified by CA, then it is justified, fully justified.
If that were true, then every startup would, every valuation would always sell outright. We see many IPOs fail. We see many IPOs every valuation, if your assumption were right,
justified in any case.
Then Burger King, right? Burger King listed at 2 times.
I would just like to continue with Aditya that yes, the numerical startup valuation
statements just to get a bank loan. Valuations cannot be justified like this when we ourselves give inflated financial statements to raise one single bank loan.
But it's backed with your past trends, my dear.
With the balance
it's
sheet,
backed with your past trends. If your profit is growing by 20%, there is an assumption that it will go by 20% in next year.
I would just like to add one point here that we are majorly nowadays also in this country. In the country and in the overall market, we are focusing on the valuation on the basis of the numerical parts, right? Yeah. We are focusing either on the earnings or EBITDA and all these things, valuation methods, but also there are other points, like we have to see whether it is a growth point or not. Growth means whether it's forecasted, whether it is going to be there in the market or not. Startup valuation will be justified not only basis on the earnings, but also on the various things, like what kind of human resource they are putting on, what kind of research and development they are putting behind it, what kind of value productable they are providing to the market. That all also
So that just shows that there cannot be everyone's
management,
really important
the product and the working capital requirements.
Everyone's money is also very important.
Naman, let me complete.
Sure, Kinjal.
To add up to Niharika's point, valuation should be based on earning, but there are other creative methods also, like the quality of management, their comparable products, their IP, or the working capital requirements which will be needed. That can also be basis to predict or understand the valuation. As Bhavesh said that if we can justify, if someone is asking this much crore rupees, we can justify it by using a procedure or model. But what about companies which come up with a creative idea which don't have another comparable product? Then how do you justify that? Because they are a pre-revenue model. They don't have historical data to back their valuation. So how a procedure or something can be used on something which is very innovative or creative? It's never been in the market, never seen.
And ultimately, Kinjal, it just boils down to one thing, right? It just boils down to whether it is justified for you. If I am putting money into some company and I am valuing it, it ultimately boils down to whether this valuation, this startup is justified to me as an investor, right?
Yeah.
And when both the investor and the startup founder or the entrepreneur, when their valuations coincide, that I think is the ideal point where we can say a startup is exactly valued and exactly justified, right?
Correct. That's where I started with the conversation that the investor and the person who has a conviction in the product can determine the valuation.
Let me continue.
Yeah, Lakshay,
Bhavesh, I think I have not spoken. So I just
Lakshay,
want to
yeah,
continue.
you can go ahead. Lakshay.
Yeah, I would like to continue with the Aditya's point that the valuations are from the prospect of the investors. If you see that the companies I mentioned, Paytm, Nykaa, and Zomato, when they were not listed in the stock markets, so they were being valued according to the angel investor and the venture capitalist from their eyes, and the valuations were very high. And as Bhavesh said that the financials are being like certified by the chartered accountant in that, when at the time of listing, Kotak and big investment banks and securities have like used your methods which you said that like the past earnings, the trends, the patterns, and still they fail to value. Like how can you justify the 50% destruction in the wealth of Paytm shareholders? So these financials and the valuations were being made by the big investments banks, the reputed investment bank. Still the valuations have been like flunked by 50%. So what could be the reason? How the business model is the same and the investors, but does the investors, the change in the investors factor, like the investors are different, the investors there were different. So it's just one factor. The management is same, the earnings is same, and you would see that there is no change, but it's just the investors which value the company.
Yeah, I want to add on something with
Adding on to
Niharika point.
Laksha's
Niharika
point, if you
said
just see
something very
Zomato
great
raised
thing, which is that the
$1.26 billion
interpersonal
in its
skill is
IPO,
being
where it just
disclosed
suffered
by
a
the
loss of 400
financial
crores in the
valuation model.
previous.
So I'm saying that valuation comes because of this only. The entrepreneur who is contributing to the startup is disclosed by the valuation. If there is a valuation, the value of the firm goes higher and higher in next years. It shows that the entrepreneur skill is there. So I'm saying that the interpersonal skill of the entrepreneur, the things which cannot be valued in terms of number, can be shown by the projections. Like that, yes, today we are not earning, but as an entrepreneur is very great, he is very intellectual person. In the future, we will increase, we will grow our sales. So this interpersonal skills been verified by the valuation. So in this way, these are very much justified.
Okay.
I would
Okay,
just like to
Okay, so
conclude
I'll just
by
like to
using
I think
my
conclude
this is
previous
everyone's
something
first
that I would
discussion.
like to
which I
add
I would
on.
like to just conclude
valuation
everyone's
cannot be
discussion
justified. You cannot
because
put a
Okay, so
blanket statement on everyone.
Naman wants to conclude. Let me ask Naman, please conclude.
I would like to conclude by using my teammates Aditya's first statement. You cannot just put a blanket statement that it's either justified or unjustified, as you've seen through the entire discussion right now. There are some pro factors, there are some con factors. There is wealth creation and there is wealth destruction. So it cannot be a blanket statement. You have to justify all your assumptions basically, which we're doing right
as
now.
everyone has said, like high valuations versus low valuations, earnings, projections. So right now only this discussion has showed us that there is no one set answer, right? If there was a set answer, then we would have reached a conclusion amongst all peers in this small GD, right?
And just as a quote says that what is true for me might not be true for you.
Exactly.
So justification is needed for every point.
Okay. So it's just a game of betting. That is what the conclusion is. Okay. All right. So I think this was the very good discussion, what I wanted to hear actually. And I'm very happy that everybody could actually put their views forward. And I think Shark Tank India is also one of the great platforms that, one of the most, I think they have just educated the entire the nation about the startup ecosystem and all the the language of the startups, which actually I think most of the people don't understand, right? So I think and I also thank Shivam to organize, for organizing this on the CA Monk platform. And literally I'm very honored that I took this GD. So okay, so Shivam, how do we need to
Rashi,
go
we are
about
honored
this?
to have you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we go into some feedback part, right, I'll also ask the audience to also vote. So those who have connected from YouTube also, you can also vote which team you're supporting for this. And second thing यार जो videos अभी participate नहीं कर रहे हैं, so I'll just request कि आप अभी थोड़ी देर videos बंद रखो 2 minute के लिए, so that it's easier to give a feedback also, and the students can also easily able to identify, right? So before we go for a feedback, यार 2-3 important points. So whenever जब भी fish market होता है ना, this is the best time to take a leadership skills. मतलब this is what I feel. तब एकदम लीडर बन जाने का कि भाई देखो मैं अपने हिसाब से चलाऊंगा एंड आई विल ट्राई टू एंश्योर दैट एवरीवन गेट अ चांस. मतलब बहुत ज्यादा बीच में फिशी हो गया था, तो पीपल स्टार्टेड कमेंटिंग ऑन यूट्यूब कि रिपब्लिक टीवी बन गया है. आई वाज लाइक नहीं. सो ठीक है, इट्स देयर, बट that is one part. Again, Rashi ma'am, you can go feedback one by one if you have written it down.
Yeah, so like I need to give feedback team wise or like
you can give an individual basis. You can give an individual basis.
Okay, so I think Aditya started off really well. So, but I think Aditya, you just need to be relax. Just too fast for me to understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so but I think Lakshya also he had added some really good points, especially about the Paytm and Nykaa, the IPOs and the fall of Paytm and fall of Nykaa. So I think those were some very good points added in the discussion. So Niharika was also she was very stern that I need to take part in this and I need to have my viewpoint. So team 4 was good at this. Naman also gave example of both, and he gave a chance to Vishnu to speak. I think because he was just trying very hard to speak and was not getting a turn. So that is that is a plus point. Vishnu already commented upon that he's going to get a plus point for that. And so basically overall it was good, GD. So so Kinjal, I would say that when it was fish market created, I think she was the only one to stand up and say, let us just calm down, and I think we should maintain that decorum. So I think I'll give her some points for that. That she actually brought everybody back to the discussion from the debate. That was the main plus point here. And Vishnu was constantly talking, saying that we are diverting from the topic and we are diverting from the topic. So let us come back to the topic. But I think still you need to maintain some professionalism, especially when this is being aired like across the country. So that needs to be, you just can't be like, yaar, arre, mere ko bolne nahi de rahe, yaar, come on, if this is not going to be, you should not do like that. Okay, you just need to be calm, maintain that decorum, maintain that professionalism. Okay, so Rupal and Bhavesh, they also, had put great points forward. And but I think Rupal, you should give other people also chance to, complete so that it just doesn't end up into a fish market. Okay, so that is my overall feedback. Yeah, so Shivam.
Yeah, I also want to add on 2-3 things, right? So initially, Aditya started very well, as it was like, pata hua started, right? That was a bang on. I like that कि भाई बंदे का awareness level बहुत तेज है, मतलब वो चीज मुझे काफी अच्छा लगा.
Right.
But after you ended, right, you started eating your earphones or something like this. I don't know what happened. But
no sir, I kept it here so that it's easy to talk.
Okay. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि आप ईयरफोन खा रहे हो. मुझे थोड़ा सा ऐसा
actually you just start fiddling with your
actually वो नीचे चला गया तो फिर आवाज नहीं आता.
Okay, so that is I felt like second thing यार, मतलब I don't know, विष्णु को जब चांस मिला था, he was like okay, you are saying कि मुझे इसको एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट दे दो, ठीक है. मतलब जनरली आप ग्रुप डिस्कशन अपने लिए दे रहे हो, ये चीज पॉइंट दिमाग में रखो, बिकॉज आपको जॉब चाहिए, सभी को जॉब चाहिए यहाँ पे, राइट? एंड डेफिनेटली इफ यू पास ऑन टू समवन, तो ऑटोमेटिकली वहां पे थोड़ा सा होगा. देन यू गॉट अ चांस, देन यू आर थिंकिंग अब मैं क्या बोलूं, यू आर लाइक अरे थैंक यू, राइट? दिस थिंग हैपेंड.
Yeah, exactly. That is what I said.
I was like, भाई क्या हो गया इसको? So that is there. Bhavesh, I was expecting a good point from your side in few places, since आपका voice थोड़ा सा bold है, तो आप लोगों को दबा रहे थे, बट वो जो दबाने के बाद जो पॉइंट्स आ रहे थे ना, वो उतने अच्छे नहीं लग रहे थे मुझे. The way Naman was quoting some numbers or some facts, right? So that was very to the point and crisp and clear. और audience उसको सुनने के लिए इंटरेस्ट हो रही थी. हाँ, कुछ numbers आ रहे हैं, कुछ नायिका का बोल रहा है, something sort of, right? So you need to work, Bhavesh, a bit on a content part. That is there. I think Kinjal जब started ना, तो आपका भी थोड़ा सा इंटरनेट का थोड़ा सा इशू हो गया था. Just for a fraction of second वहां पे कोई आपको इंटरप्ट कर सकता था, बट आपकी किस्मत अच्छी थी कि कोई घुसा नहीं था. ठीक है. So that is there. I was again expecting a good point. जैसे आपने लीडरशिप लिया था ना, तो उसको एंड तक कंटिन्यू करना था. बीच में आपने भूल गए कि मैं भी लीडर हूं, एंड दैट इज दैट. ऑल्सो वन थिंग व्हिच आई फाउंड वाज कि आप टीम्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से नहीं देख रहे थे. मतलब हमारा तो टीम के पर्सपेक्टिव से था, ऑल्दो एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर रहे थे. जैसे आई थिंक रूपल को चांस नहीं मिल रहा था, या रूपल बोल रही थी तो भावेश बोल रहे थे कि प्लीज आप उन्हें बोलने दीजिए. सो दैट इज द बेस्ट पार्ट व्हिच आई फेल्ट आउट. बट कहीं ना कहीं ना आप ऐसे टीम के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचो कि तू इस पॉइंट पे बात करना, मैं इस पॉइंट पे बात करूंगा, या तू लीडरशिप लेना, मैं पॉइंट कोट करूंगा. सो समथिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ यू कैन स्ट्रेटेजाइज समथिंग टू विन दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ अ डिस्कशन, ऑल्दो इट्स मोर अबाउट अ लर्निंग. एंड रिमेंबर यार कि जैसे कोई 2-3 बार शार्क टैंक, आई थिंक 4-5 पीपल हैव जस्ट मेंशन्ड शार्क टैंक ओनली. सो यार आप मेंशन करो, बट ठीक है, डू नॉट रिपीट इट आउट. मतलब कुछ नया कोट करो. आई थिंक लक्ष्य केम आउट विद समथिंग रिगार्डिंग अ स्टॉक मार्केट्स एंड समथिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ. सो वो डिस्कशन को थोड़ा सा चेंज करना भी जरूरी होता है. अगर आप शार्क टैंक पे भी बात कर रहे हो, कोट समथिंग यूनिक देयर. ठीक है, सो दैट इज व्हाट आई विल से. आई थिंक सभी के लिए एक बार राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज तो बनता ही है यार. राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर एवरी वन ऑफ यू. सो ग्रेट. मैं वैसे जनरली इतने एग्रेसिव जीडी से मुझे थोड़ा सा वो लगता है कि भाई क्या हो रहा है, बट ठीक है, इट्स मोर अबाउट अ लर्निंग. सो ग्रेट. एनीथिंग मैम यू वांट टू ऐड ऑन मोर?
No, I think they all did pretty well. It's just that I'm just happy with the entire discussion. That but so see, if a fish market's created now, then that yes, people have their viewpoints. People know about the topic. So that is also something very, very positive.
Okay.
So, but then yeah, overall it was a good discussion. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
But I think they could have Naman and Aditya, I think I asked them to conclude. But I think the conclusion would have been some more valuable.
More valuable. So I don't know why Naman ended it very fast. So conclusion is something like we are going to be talking about the summary of everything. What you felt like कि topic ये था और उसके basis पे मैं ये conclusion पे आया. या तो आपके points हो सकते हैं या तो discussion के points हो सकते हैं जो आपको अच्छे लगे. So नमन यहाँ पे आपका बहुत अच्छा चांस था, मतलब पूरी टीम को हाईलाइट करने का. तो उसके बाद आदित्य ने लीड लिया तो मुझे समझ में आ गया कि भाई यूनिटी जबरदस्त है टीम में. मतलब वो चीज मेरे को समझ में आ गई. देन निहारिका सेड समथिंग, तो इस तरीके से फ्लो हुआ. बट अगेन सो दैट वाज देयर. बट नमन आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग टू कंक्लूड इन अ पॉइंटर मैनर. सो whatever we have discussed, based on that I would like to highlight 5 important points. So इस तरीके से आप कंक्लूड जब करते हो तो यहाँ पे लगता है कि हाँ आपको पता है. सो हम जब मैंने आपको सिखाया भी था रूल ऑफ 3, रूल ऑफ 5, ये लोग कुछ लोग भूल जा रहे हैं, तो उसको यूज करो यार कि आप रूल ऑफ 3.
आई थिंक
सो वो चीज आपको बहुत हेल्प करेगी. ठीक है, मतलब स्पेशली जब आपको पर्सनल अटेंशन मिला ना, जैसे विष्णु को भी मिला था, तो ही सेड इन अ वेरी गुड मैनर. बट आप जैसे आपने बोला कि आई वुड लाइक दिस इज सेकंड पॉइंट की जगह आपने बोले दिस इज फर्स्ट पॉइंट. मतलब आप रिकॉर्डिंग देखना विष्णु, आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा. आप सेकंड पॉइंट को फिर बोल दिया बाद में फर्स्ट पॉइंट. तो वहां पे लगता है कि आप थोड़े से हड़बड़ा गए हो या थोड़े से वो चीज हो चुके हो. सो इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट कि आप डिस्कशन में हो. अगेन दैट इज दैट. बट यस इट्स कंप्लीटली फाइन, है ना. तो वो चीज तो धीरे धीरे सीखने से ही आएगी. ठीक है, I think
Shivam, can we just ask Meghna also, like how much fillers? Yeah, because she was just counting the fillers, because that's also really, really important for the discussion.
Yes, and even for the scores also.
Okay.
Meghna, are you there?
Yeah. I'm here.
You can turn on your video if you want.
Okay.
Yes.
So everybody was really fierce and intense. It was really difficult to find filler words. But if I have to pinpoint, I would just like to say that Lakshya, you used a lot of like every sentence you used like. So you can replace that with for instance or for example or giving insights into or whatever. And most of you, all of you were flawless. That I would just like to say. And Aditya, maybe after making every point, you can avoid saying right. I felt like you were, after every point you made, you use the word right a lot. So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So great. Also, was a filler part of Aditya at the initial part. But after the discussion got hot, na, तो वो fillers में कम होता है, points में ज़्यादा आ जाता है. So that is what had happened, but it's completely fine. So great यार, मेघना के लिए भी round of applause तो बनता ही है, right? Seeing out the filler words. So will this show be live tomorrow? नहीं. Right. So let's go to the results also. So जो YouTube से connected है audiences, आप भी वो poll पे जाके vote कर सकते हो कि आप कौन सी टीम को सबसे ज़्यादा support कर रहे हो. तो again we'll come to know. Okay. So yes, ma'am, your overall feedback or overall results which you want to give.
So, like, you really want me to like declare the result?
Or you want to create some suspense?
No, I just don't want to create a suspense. But see, so I'm just so confused between the two teams. and I don't know which one should I go, but then let me just still. Okay, so for me, I would still go with number one as team three.
Okay, great. So round of applause for
Aditya
team three.
and Naman.
Great. So they are on first
And
position.
they are on the first position.
Great.
And team okay, so second position would be, of course, team four.
Team four, great. I can see some smiles coming up. I can see some smiles going on. But
Team four.
Thank you,
But,
ma'am.
Thank you.
Great,
yeah,
great,
so
great.
it was a tie between them. I would have given it tie, but then but still there was some edge. I think Aditya just won. It was, I think, only because of Aditya that I just could not this thing I should so okay, you want me to announce third and fourth also?
Yeah, it would be great if you could announce it.
Okay, so third is team 2, and then fourth would be team 1.
Okay, got it. So great यार, मतलब देखो यार, ऐसे मत देखो कि आप क्यों लास्ट आए या क्यों फर्स्ट आए, right? It's more about a learning, it's more about a practice, right? Group discussion is more about that, right? So I'll also call the team leaders also. जो team leaders है, if you're there, you can also turn on your videos, so that it would be great. Yes. So ma'am, any specific reason why one team is, मतलब कैसे, मतलब what made the team?
Okay, so I'll tell you. So see, because Naman started it, Aditya started it, and he started it really well. Okay, and then also in between he had added really good points. Okay, and then Naman also added very good points. So I mean, both the contenders, they were really good in their knowledge. They had those leadership skills, they had good communication skills, and that is what I was testing. And that is and also the listening skills. I mean, like everybody was just trying to pounce on each other and trying to speak, but I think they had maintained that decorum, that calmness also. So that is the reason I would give to team 3. So team 4 was equally good. I think the points added by Lakshya were very good, like regarding the IPO and all. But the only thing was that Niharika was not letting others speak. That was the only negative thing. Okay, otherwise team 4 was equally good. Niharika was very good. She added really good points. And also both the teams, actually, if you see, one was for the topic, one was against the topic. So it was a good contradiction and good for and against debate or a discussion that was going on between the two teams. So I think that is the only reason why these teams outshined for me today.
Great. So great यार, a round of applause for Rashi ma'am once again यार, for the wonderful feedback from everyone, right? And अभी जो connected है audience में से यार, सब आ जाओ, फटाफट videos on कर लो. अब शर्माने की कोई बात नहीं, अब group photo का time है, right? So let's join us for a group photo. राइट, टीम 3 के चेहरे पे अलग सी स्माइल दिख रही है, पता नहीं क्यों मुझे. टीम 3 क्या रीजन है, इतनी बड़ी स्माइल क्यों आ रही है, मुझे बता दो. टीम 3 वाले कौन है? आई थिंक
Sir, I can tell you one thing. Like our team has unity, because I'm not sure if the other teams did this, but every day after GIR or like the last week, I used to get over at 10 o'clock. Only our team used to stay up till like 2:30 just talking about random things.
No. Even team 4 was there. We were.
But I think you guys might have talked about what you all have to participate into.
Yeah.
We build it up into team building.
Oh yeah. So I can. Okay. So Shivam. So unity of team 3 also, that was also a plus point here.
right.
Yeah, because
knows our
we
unity
have
very
shared
well,
a lot
sir.
of
They
life
know very
stories
well
and
about
everything
him
till
too.
like 2:30 a.m. in the morning. And if you see the unity example, I mean, I'm not boasting or anything, but if you see, Aditya started with, you cannot put a blanket statement. I continued with it and we stuck on it till the end, just by giving various examples. So that was also a point according to me.
Right, and we didn't take it offline. It was just implied that we would take this topic. Like, we didn't connect anywhere else except this GD. By other people might have decided कि क्या चीज पे बोलना है or anything. We just took each other's lead. Whatever he was saying, we were just backing up. I mean, that's maybe.
Great. So great यार. I think a lot of people are asking कि कब अगले GDs होंगे, right? So from after the results, we are gonna be launching our next batch, right? So 16-17 तो complete हो गई, अभी 18 का नंबर आ रहा है, right? So 18, 19, 20, hopefully 21 भी हो जाए, right? So expecting a lot of people are going to be participating after the results. This was a pre-results batch जहाँ पे हमने 2 batches को complete किए हैं. Approximately 250 plus people are there. So मतलब काफी सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने एंजॉय किया ये बैचेस को. और जनरली मैं रेकमेंड करता हूँ कि रिजल्ट्स के पहले हो, बिकॉज अब से तो जीपीएल भी होगा, राइट? तो जीपीएल इज समथिंग अगेन गोना बी अ टीम बाउंडिंग पार्ट. सो आफ्टर रिजल्ट्स लॉट ऑफ सेशंस, लॉट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस सेशंस. इनफैक्ट जिन्होंने मेरा इवेंट्स पे जाके चेक किया होगा, इनफैक्ट मैं अभी शो भी कर देता हूँ, मैंने अभी से ही पूरे मार्च तक का मेरा कैलेंडर बुक कर लिया है कि भाई क्या क्या इवेंट्स करने हैं एंड व्हाट ऑल थिंग्स वी आर गोना बी प्लानिंग एंड हाउ इट्स गोना बी गोइंग देयर. So again, times थोड़े से change होंगे, but I want every one of you to please go to our events page and just check out the events कि कौन से events आपके लिए relevant है. So that is again one part which I want every one of you to do it. Tomorrow we have a networking session. मैं एक बार just screen present करके भी दिखा देता हूँ. कल हमारा networking session का event है. Just a second. Yes. So tomorrow we have a networking session. मेरा screen दिख रहा है सभी को? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
right. So tomorrow we have a networking session. After that, for 11th को है, 12th को है, 13th को है, 14th को है, 15th को है, 16th को है. So daily we are planning some of the events for you guys. In case your results is positive, very good. In case is negative, don't worry. We have a motivation and mentorship sessions also for you guys. So don't worry, guys. A lot of things CMONG team is gonna be doing for you guys. बट इम्पोर्टेंट इज दैट कि अभी हम आपको सिर्फ ये बुला रहे हैं कि भाई रिजल्ट्स आ रहे हैं, ठीक है? ये बोल के मैंने याद दिला दिया, बट ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. सो आई रिक्वेस्ट यार सब फटाफट वीडियोस ऑन कर ले ग्रुप फोटो के लिए. एंड यू नो व्हाट टू से ऑन अ काउंट ऑफ 1. राइट. कोई बोलता है यार पनीर बोल दो, अब तो थोड़ा पैसा भी आ गया सीमोंग के पास. नहीं अभी हम चपाती में ही है. राइट.
पिज्जा.
क्या पिज्जा बोलेंगे? ओके, ग्रेट. सो ऑन अ काउंट ऑफ 1 आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन टू अनम्यूट देमसेल्व्स. फटाफट अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लो. एंड ऑन अ काउंट ऑफ 1 विल से चपाती. ठीक है, ग्रेट. अब YouTube वाले बोल रहे हैं हम तो नहीं बोल पाएंगे, तो आप लोग लाइक दबा सकते हो चपाती बोलने के जगह, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन डू. सो 3, 2, 1 चपाती. Great. So great, guys. I think everyone enjoyed the session. It's more about a practice. Group discussion is more about a practice. ये एक दिन में नहीं आता है. लोगों को भी लगता है कि PI में बैठूंगा एक दिन में इंटरव्यू फोड़ दूंगा. नहीं होता है भाई. It takes a lot of practice, right? So we are here to help you out, right? And that is the main purpose why we started a getting interview ready workshop. So great, guys. सभी के लिए एक बार जोरदार तालियां, टीम लीडर्स के लिए, टीम मेंटर्स के लिए, और इनफैक्ट आज के हमारे मेंटर्स के लिए भी, right? So great. So I think we'll end up the session here only. Thanks, Rashi ma'am, for connecting in.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.